back at Liverpool Soundcity this year. I was exceptionally busy, but I was so hyped to finally get to see Crawlers playing live. I got to meet them as well downstairs in the little basement venue. And today I'm excited that Liv is joining me for a catch up. What a year, what a few months you've had.
No.
Wow.
Oh my God. I'm still trying to sort of keep up with it myself, to be honest. It's it's been mad.
We were just sliding into each other's DMs saying, "Are you around? I think you're around. Are you? Can I say hello?"
Literally
Um,
like, are you around? I am around. Are you around? Oh, I've just missed you. Damn it.
Story of the world at Sound City, though, isn't it? But obviously, you guys are from Merseyside, and the Merseyside scene is always really inspiring to me, and I go over there a lot because I just love how supportive people are and how just they're just real. How's it been for you so far since you got together?
I mean, it's been great. Like you were saying, like everyone seems to know each other, or like, we'll have some sort of link. It'll be like, oh yeah, that's my brother kind of thing. Like with one of our mates. So yeah, I mean, it is like like a little community. It's a nice little scene over here. I'll say little. It's not little, but you know what I mean. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's been really nice. I mean, I think especially since like Harry joined and we were able to really become the little quartet that we are. Um, it's just been so much nicer and better to sort of get out there and chat to more people. And like you say, like within um the little scene that we've got going on, we're able to sort of network a little bit more, go and see our mates as well. Now that gigs are back on, we're actually in a position where we can go see our mates again, like, and their gigs, and that's been so lovely. And just being like, yeah, you go.
I mean, how did you initially meet?
So Amy and I have known each other since high school. We were actually in the same form, and it was one of those really like when we were first sort of getting to know each other. It was like, oh, I play guitar. Oh, I play guitar. Oh, okay, kind of thing, and then like get talking, bonding over like the same bands that we really liked and stuff like that. Um, and so yeah, Amy and I were in a cover band in high school, and that sort of came to an end when we started college. And Hol and I met in college because Ames and I went to different colleges. That's where Hol and I met. And we were put in a band, sorry, for a project literally on the first day. They were like, yeah, we've put you into bands, like, because we had to sort of say what kind of bands we were into, and they were like, yep, found it, go, sort of thing. And then when that project sort of came to an end, we were like, I really like working with you. It's like, yeah, I like working with you. Should we do something? Yeah, okay, kind of thing. And it was around the same time as well that Amy was like, hey, I think we should work together again, like if you're down for that. So it was kind of one of those like, oh yeah, like I've met this person at college who I feel like you'd really get on with. Let's meet up and let's have a jam. That was that. And we were working with our mate who is no longer our drummer. And that's where we then met Harry. So it's kind of strange because Harry, it feels like he's been in the band for a lot longer than he has. But we met Harry through he was doing his own little zine, and someone that we know, when we needed a drummer, was like, oh, there's Harry, like I'm sure he'd be down for you guys. And it turns out he'd written in the zine a review for Hush, which had been released like the month before we met him. And he'd done like a cover and everything that he was about to release. And then we were like, hey, do you want to come down? And he was like, yeah, go on. Next thing, he's in the band.
Is meant to be, definitely.
Exactly.
Mhm. And obviously, I saw you at Sound City, but it seems to have been like a huge ascent for you over the last few months. Looking at how do you look back at that time at Sound City and think, wow, like the whole thing just kind of snowballed?
Yeah, because I mean, like for us, we were just having a great time, just being with each other, and the audience were having a great time, so we were sort of bouncing off of each other. And then it was kind of one of those that the room started getting more full, and we were like, this is great. And then next thing, the room was packed, and we were like, okay, yeah, let's go with it. And then we get off, and we were told that they had to stop letting people in, and we were like, beg your pardon, what? So yeah, it was insane. But since then, because I mean that was like probably the first time we played to such a huge audience, um and since then things have literally, just like you say, they've snowballed, they've taken off, and it's like a little bit mind-boggling, because it wasn't that long ago that we were playing Sound City, and it really wasn't that long ago that we were playing to like 8 people max, at times, and now it's like we're playing like Reading and Leeds and Community Fest and all these amazing festivals where we're playing to like potentially like hundreds, if not, thousands of people, and we're like, how did that happen?
Now, a lot of people in the music industry are like, what the hell is TikTok? Why is this having an influence on artists right now? And I know, having obviously witnessed the ascent of Come Over Again on TikTok, what can you tell us about the experience and what happened?
Hall is like the grandmaster of TikTok in the band. They know exactly what they're talking about when it comes to TikTok. Um, so they were like so on it with like trends, and like they're super creative anyway, so they just kind of channeled that into TikTok. And they were kind of like, okay, I think I've got some ideas of like how I can, use this. And it's always with Hall, like, okay, I'm gonna make TikToks today, and we'll be walking to the shop, and like, you're gonna be in this TikTok with me. I'm like, Holly, I'm in my pajamas right now. No, you're gonna be in this TikTok with me, kind of thing. So they were constantly on the grind and constantly coming up with different ideas to use with the sound, and then it's sort of caught on within other communities. So like, for example, like one of the biggest ones that sort of struck a chord with us was a lot of people in the trans community were using it. And that for us was like, I mean, it was heartbreaking to see some of the things that, had been said to them, but also really inspiring, the fact that they were like, no, I'm not taking a stand for that. Like, I am my own person, and regardless of what you say about me, and, the person you're mourning someone who doesn't exist anymore, kind of thing. And that hit kind of close to home for us, being a queer band, and, we've had things said to us, and we're like, you need to get over yourself, kind of thing, because again, you're mourning the idea of someone, not the person I am, especially like with some of us being non-binary, and yeah, it was just for us like, we just couldn't believe that people felt like they could share their story with our song. Like it was so, we were so grateful that people felt like they could share that little part of their lives with our song, and such an emotionally weighted song as well. And also like we hoped that they felt seen, because like I say, we are a queer band, and all we want to do is create that safe space for other queer people. It's a space that we didn't have growing up, and it's all we want for our followers and people who listen to our music, is just to feel seen and feel safe when they come to crawlers gigs, or if they interact with us and other people online, that they just feel like they can be who they are without judgment. So yeah, it was incredible to see, but also very overwhelming.
I bet it was really affecting. And do you feel like it's influenced, the way you will be making music moving forward?
Yeah, definitely. I think as well, like we've been able to sort of think outside the box a little bit as well, just even like with different, how we approach different things. So like, for example, like gig spaces, like making sure that everyone feels safe. We're coming up with different ways. Like we've got a few ideas in the works of like how we can ensure that everyone feels safe, and if they need to take a breather, how we can get them to that safe space quickly, but also without making them feel like attention's being drawn to them. So just little things like that. Especially because a lot of our fans are so young, and a lot of them have said like, oh my god, you guys are my first gig, and it's like, right, okay, well, that's it's a lot of pressure for us, because we're like, we want to make sure that they're okay and everyone sort of looks after each other, but obviously you're going to get that person who sort of ruins the fun for everyone, and we just don't want that to happen at our gigs. So it's kind of like, oh my God, okay, how can we make sure that you're okay, sort of thing, and that you're safe and you know where to go if you need help or anything like that. Um, but also just, yeah, reinforcing that idea of like, this is a safe space. Like, you could just, bring your partner, bring whoever, just be you for the night. Just forget about everything else. Just come and have a good time.
Your own authentic self. I think it's such an important like thing right now, and people being able to be who they are and not feeling like they've got to hide themselves or change themselves in any way.
Absolutely.
So let's go back to Polydor. You've like before I knew it, I turned around, I whistled, and you've been snapped up by a huge label. Very exciting stuff. I've been seeing all these social media little posts coming out, and it seems all very exciting. Are you totally hyped about it?
Oh my God, yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane. Like, because we've been so used to doing everything ourselves for so long and sort of being the, like sort of manager, creative director, music director, all of this. I mean, don't get me wrong, like we're so grateful to our managers, Alf and Dave as well, but we were sort of having to manage each other as well, being like, have you done this? Have you actually done this though? Like chasing each other up on like little tasks for the day. And for that then to be sort of taken out of our hands and be like, oh no, we've got someone on the team who can do that. Like you just worry about, being an artist and we can do everything else. And it's a bit like, it's a little scary because, I mean, we had it the other day. We were filming a music video, and like we didn't know what was going on, and normally we're so on it, but we were like, okay, what's happening now? Like none of us knew what was going to be next, and we were just kind of like told where to be, where to stand, and that was a little strange. We did kind of feel a little bit, like fish out of water there. We did kind of feel a little bit like, oh, okay, but we just kind of had to let go of that anxiety and sort of trust that, these people have their jobs for a reason. They know what they're doing. We can trust them. Like, just chill.
Oh, such a new experience for you to kind of relinquish that control. But there's loads of artists out there that are like, how did you get there? How do we get to the stage that you are at now? And what's your best advice for them?
Honestly, just keep going. Like, it's one of the most frustrating things because you'll be working yourself to the bone and you'll be like, why is this not getting any payoff? Like, it does feel like no one's hearing you, no one's seeing you. You feel so disheartened, but you would be surprised how many artists are being seen. They're just kind of biding their time, they're just keeping an eye on you. So honestly, the best thing that you can do is just keep going. Like, just get as much gigging experience as you can, but obviously don't overwork yourselves. You need to look after yourself, because that's a massive thing as well. Like, don't work that hard that you burn yourself out, because we've all done it in this band. We've all been so guilty of just running ourselves dry and just having to take that step back, and that's the most frustrating thing, is having to take that step back when you're like, no, I need to do this and this, and it's like, well, you can't now. You've burnt yourself out. You've got to look after yourself. But yeah, just keep on top of trends, find that audience, and sort of just have that connection with them, because they're the ones who are going to be consuming your stuff. So you need to know exactly what they want. I think it helped for us because we're, queer, we're nerdy, we are alternative, we dye our hair, we have like stupid eyeliner and all of this, and we seem to have been fortunate enough to find a little group that also like that, and then they kind of tell their friends who are into similar stuff, and then it's kind of grown like that. So we've been really fortunate. But yeah, just trust that what you're doing is right, and just keep going with it.
And I've just had a listen to your brand new single. Firstly, can you all drive? Who can't drive?
So Amy is the only one that can drive. I got very close to taking my test and then got sidetracked, and I just haven't been back since. Amy can 100% drive. I can half drive, and that is it.
And we're talking about this because the new single is called I Can't Drive. So what can you
Uh,
tell us about it?
so this song is a breakup song, but it's very much the type of like, finding that strength back in yourself again after it. It's very much like when Holly first came to us with the lyrics, it was a very different song. It had a very different vibe to it, and it was very much like, mourning this relationship. And then they sort of sat on it for a bit, rewrote it, and when they then were like, right, I've got these lyrics, I want to work on this, completely on its head. Still had a similar vibe, but it was very much like reclaiming their own strength back again and being like, I'm so much better without you. I never needed you in the first place. And you were actually the one thing stopping me from being who I am today. So it's very much just sort of finding back your strength type song. So it's a self-love anthem, but it's also a breakup song.
Liv, you're a legend. Thank you so much for the
Thank you so much
time.
for having me.
Lovely to see you again.
Thank you.